Hey y'all, so before I get this video started, let me give a quick shout out. These were the first 3 comments in my last video. If you want to be featured in my next video, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell and come show me some love when I drop a new video.
What's up, you guys? It's KeAmber Vaughn, aka CoachKe, coming back to you with another video. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you're not new, welcome back. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and also tap the bell so that you are notified of every new video that I post. So as you guys can tell by the title of this video, I am going to be budgeting my first paycheck of the month for the month of February. Things might look a little bit off because my first paycheck is in the middle of the month, but the way that I budget, I get paid bi-weekly from my PRN nursing job. And so the way that I do my budgets, I start the budgets on my first paycheck of the month, and then I ended right before my first paycheck of the following month. So my first paycheck in the month of February is February 12th, as you guys can see right here. So sorry I'm getting this video out so late to you guys. As you can tell, I'm pretty sick. Actually, yesterday was the first day that I was sick, and y'all, yesterday I was supposed to record, and honey, I looked like Who Shot John, okay? I felt terrible. I ended up sleeping underneath my heater, and I know I can't do that. I get sick every single time. Like, I can't be hot. I can be cold all day every day, not get sick, but when I'm too hot, I get sick automatically. So last night I was having the body aches. I basically end up having flu-like symptoms, but I don't have the flu. So I broke my fever finally. Yeah, so here we are. Okay, so let's see, this budget is going to go from February 12th to February 27th, it should be. No, I'm lying, 25th. Oh, duh. 13 days. Okay, and then the income, I work 25 hours a week. Let me shift you a little bit. So my income is $1166.38. So the budget that we are going to be going off of, if you guys missed me putting this budget together, I'm going to link the budget with me up in the eye in the sky, but we're going to be doing this budget right here. So the only things I have coming out is my budgeted expenses like gas, groceries, all of that stuff, which is $610 per paycheck. I have to get my supplements. I separate my supplements out because I only buy supplements once a month for the most part. And then I am going on a turnaround New Orleans trip on the 23rd of February, so that's going to be $75. Then we have car insurance, and then also a travel club membership. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to list out my fixed expenses. Am I doing this right, y'all? I feel like it's been so long. Oh no, because I wrote that way too low. Y'all, this is what happens when you don't budget weekly anymore. I'm like, something looks off. All right, February 12th through February 20, what did I say? 13 days, 25th. That looks better. So if you're new to my channel, I use my own budgeting method. It's called the income allocation method. And basically what happens is I do not start allocating money towards my savings or extra debt payments if I was still in debt. I have been debt free as of May of 2018, but I do not start to allocate money for extra things until after I have earned enough money in the entire month to pay for my fixed expenses. You guys will see my fixed expenses are very minimal. I'm debt free. I stay at home. I have wasted enough money on rent in my lifetime. Okay, it's just that simple. All right, so I think that I wrote down, did I not? I did. Okay, so the only fixed expenses that we have this paycheck, we have car insurance, and that is due on 2/21, and the amount is $129.66. And then we have the travel club, and that is due on the 24th, and that's going to be $30. So even though you see me break everything down in a paycheck to paycheck basis, I still do everything as a whole. Meaning, if on this particular paycheck I couldn't cover all of my fixed expenses for the month, I would not be allocating anything towards savings whatsoever. But of course, again, because my bills are so minimal, I will have enough money to do so. So then I just always put an unbudgeted line, because you never know if you start a new subscription, you know, things like that. And there's no amount, of course, because we're not budgeting for it. So the total that we have for fixed expenses, $129.66. Oh, that is high enough. Plus 30, $159.66. So the remaining we have left out of this paycheck after fixed expenses, $1,166.38, is going to be $1,006.72. So for those of you all who have started your budgets way before now, how are you guys doing thus far in the month? I hope y'all are doing good. I actually have not spent a lot of money so far this month, honestly. Let's see, due date. And all right, so budget, there's no due date, and that's going to be $610. We have supplements. So I'm really hoping this month goes really well, because there's a couple of investments I want to make very soon. And in order for me to do that, especially with me only having a part-time income, I have to make sure that I'm really, really good with my money. I did have somebody not too long ago, I think it was on my last video when I did the whole budget with me, and they were just basically saying, like, you know, it's a lot easier to do things when you don't have rent and you're out of debt. And I'm like, absolutely. That's why I plan to stay debt free, and I do not plan to pay rent anytime soon unless I absolutely have to. Just is what it is. Y'all, I have been on my own off and on since I graduated high school at 16. And every time I came back home, it wasn't because I ran out of money or like anything like that. It's just I had a desire to come back home. Luckily, I have parents that don't really want me to be on my own anyway, honestly. I have a 27-year-old sister who's never lived on her own at all. But yeah, I mean, it's just how things are. I'm very grateful though, I'm not gonna lie, because I don't know, I just feel like rent is such a waste of money. Unless, like, I'm single, I don't have kids, I don't have none of that, so what's the point? I do the same thing in my parents' house that I do in my own house. I go to work, I come home, I chill. Literally that simple. I don't go out, I don't do anything. The only time I go out is for work, the grocery store, and to go out of town. That's it. All right, so savings I always do in purple, because even though it is a deduction like it can be red, it's going towards something simple, and I'm saving money. So let's see, the first savings account that I send everything to is my miscellaneous / investment sinking fund, and then we have a car sinking fund, and we have a travel sinking fund. And I actually sent this out, what day was that? Thursday. So Thursday was the 13th. And then we're gonna do an unbudgeted, just in case I send something extra, which I never really do until the very end of the month. Excuse me. We're gonna put total, and I can't remember how much I sent, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, I can't remember how much I sent. All right, so to do this math, I'm gonna do this on a separate sheet of paper. So my income was $1,166.38, and I'm actually gonna go into the weekly allocations page of my planner. This is a planner that I created myself, by the way. All right, so I told you guys I don't start sending extra money off until I've earned enough to pay for my fixed expenses. My fixed expenses is here. Again, very minimal. That's $354.42. So basically what I'm trying to do right now is figure out how much money I have left over after my fixed expenses are accounted for. I still pay my fixed expenses on the day that they are due. No worries. So we have $811.96 left over. Okay, so after I've earned enough money to pay for my fixed expenses, 65% of that net income is going to be staying in my checking account for my variable expenses, because remember, we've only accounted so far for my fixed expenses. So 65% will stay in my checking account for gas, groceries, all of that, and then 35% will go towards savings. And then of course at the end of the month, I always reconcile my checking account back down to $4,000, and whatever's in excess goes to savings as well. So 65% is going to go to the checking, and again 35% of this net income is going to go to savings. So $811.96 times 65% or 0.65 is going to be $527, and I'm going to round down to 76 because I need an even number over here. So $811.96 minus $527.76, that gives me $284.20 to stay in or send off to savings. And if you guys see here, that is exactly how much I sent to myself on Thursday. Okay, so for some people, they just leave everything right here, but me personally, again, I break everything down. But before we go over to the other side, back to that other page, I'm going to go ahead and write these numbers in. So savings is going to be $284.20, but I can't write this $527.76 in the checking box because remember, we also kept in our checking enough for the fixed expenses. So we have to add these two amounts up. So $354.42 plus $527.76 is going to give me $882.18. And the way that I know my math is correct is because if I add these two together, I should end up getting how much my entire check was. Nothing more, nothing less. And there you guys can see. Okay. So let's head back here. So we know that the total that we sent to savings again was $284.20. So the way that I like to break mine down, I send 50% of my savings money or allocation to my miscellaneous / investment sinking fund. I send 25% to my car and 25% to travel. Now, when it comes to this travel account, this is what I use to pay for like my flight and hotels. Any spending money, I put that in my actual budget. That's why you see the $75 right here for the variable expenses. Okay, so $284.20, we're going to multiply that by 50%. So that means that $142.10 is going to go to miscellaneous / investment. And then of course, because it's half, that's what's left over for the last two accounts. We're going to split that in half, and $71.05 and $71.05. Again, just to double check my math, if I add up these, plus $142.10, and then I add what I kept in checking for variable expenses and what I kept in checking for fixed expenses, again, I have the amount of my check. So we have $142.10, we have $71.05, $71.05, there's nothing there. So as you guys can see, the total amount is less than what I have left over from this check. And the thing is, I'm not going to end up negative. You guys, I overestimate my expenses. I try not to overestimate a whole lot, but it always ends up being that way because I like to give myself enough cushion just in case I need something, you know, unexpected type of expenses or things that I just like. For instance, I just bought this light at the end of my last budget. That wasn't in my budget, but I had enough money left over. So just different things like that. So I'm negative $12.48, but again, I'm not going to spend $610. My supplements will probably be less than that. I probably won't spend $75 in New Orleans, but it's just in case. So the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to come all the way down to the bottom and I'm going to create my reconciliation. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And what I'm going to do down here is I'm going to create a place where I can reconcile my accounts at the very end of this particular budget. So we're going to have the beginning balance of my checking account. Again, this is the very beginning of this budget. So that's going to be $4,000. I always start with $4,000 in my checking account because I was taught that you want to keep 2 to 3 times your monthly expenses as a base in your account. Of course, my monthly expenses are much less than, you know, I have way more in my checking account than I need as a base, but that's just in case at some time in the future, you know, my fixed expenses increase. So we're gonna add the income in. Red pen, red pen. Then we're gonna subtract the fixed expenses, subtract the variable expenses, subtract the savings, and that's gonna give me the ending balance at the end. So again, $4,000 is what I'm starting off with. We're gonna add the 1166. Oop, almost wrote 83. 38. That gives me a total starting balance of $5,166.38. So we have fixed expenses of $159.66. Variable is $735. We sent $284.20 off to savings. So let's see how much we have left. So $51.66.38. I'm going to subtract the $159.66, subtract the $735, and then subtract the $284.20. That gets me $3,987.52. And the way that I know my math is correct is because if I take the beginning balance, not 40,000, honey, that's my savings, and then I'm going to subtract what I'm supposed to have remaining, and that gives me $39,87.52, which is what you see here. So that is that, you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, feel free to leave them down below. Did I say I hope you enjoyed this video? I don't know, y'all. My brain is all messed up. But please thumbs up this video, subscribe if you haven't already. But other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.